Hi, Black Cat Recapped here. Today I am going to explain a mystery and thriller movie named Perfume, the story of a murderer. In old-timey Paris, boats getting better at sailing across oceans makes trading with other places easier. This helps businesses grow and make more money. In a dirty part of town near Paris, a lady who sells fish has a baby named Jean while she's at work. This isn't the first time she's had a baby while working. When Jean is born, he doesn't move or breathe. The fish lady thinks he's dead and leaves him there to keep working. But then Jean cries really loud when he smells the bad smells of the market. After that, he's super into smells. The fish lady gets in trouble for leaving her baby and is hanged later. Jean grows up in an orphanage and has a hard life. But he's really obsessed with smells and doesn't care if other kids think he's weird. He loves the smell of everything in nature, like wood, fruit, leaves, and even water. When he's 13, he's sold to a leather maker for 7 francs because the orphanage owner thinks he's too much trouble. But then the orphanage owner gets killed by robbers. Life isn't any better at the leather makers. Jean works more than 10 hours every day. He dreams of crossing a river one day to explore more smells. His first trip to Paris with the leather maker changes his life. The city is busy and has all kinds of smells from soldiers, sellers, and horses. But Jean loves the smells of rich ladies the most. One day, he's captivated by a really amazing smell mixed with hormones. His super nose helps him find the source, a young lady with brown hair and innocent eyes. He becomes super obsessed with her smell, which is so magical he can't even describe it. He follows her around and breathes in her scent as much as he can. Later, he presses his face onto her hand and licks it like a weirdo, scaring the shy girl. Jean follows her smell and catches her in an alley. He covers her mouth to stop her from making noise, but accidentally suffocates her. He's shocked to find that her amazing smell fades as she stops breathing. He then undresses her to smell her better, but the smell disappears completely. Jean decides he wants to learn how to preserve smells. Baldini is an Italian who makes perfume in Paris. He used to be really good at it, but now he's not as creative. When Jean brings leather to Baldini, he even tries to copy the smell of a popular perfume called Love and Soul, but better. Baldini is amazed by Jean's talent for smelling things, so he buys Jean for 50 francs from the leather maker. After the deal, the leather maker gets hit by a carriage and falls into the river, dying. It seems like anyone who abandons Jean ends up having a bad accident. Jean starts working at Baldini's perfume shop. He brings new life to Baldini's business with his amazing perfumes and learns a lot more about making perfume. One night, Jean dreams about the girl again, whose smell he loved. When he wakes up, he asks Baldini to teach him how to turn smells into perfume, promising to make the best perfumes for him. Baldini happily agrees. The next day, they get baskets of roses delivered. Baldini starts teaching Jean how to keep smells. They put the roses in a big pot and use steam to get the smell out. Baldini talks proudly about Grasse, a town famous for making the best perfumes. They work late into the night trying to get the smell from the roses just right. The next morning, Jean finds some random stuff like chains, glass, copper, and even a cat. He tries to get the smell out of them too, but it doesn't work. Jean gets upset and Baldini comes to see what's wrong. He tells Jean that you can't get the smell from living things by steaming them. Jean is crushed because capturing smells is really important to him. He thinks if he could keep the smell of the girl with brown hair, it wouldn't have disappeared when she died. Jean gets really sick and asks Baldini how to keep human smells. Baldini says Jean can learn a special way called enfleurage in Grasse. This gives Jean hope and he gets better in a week. Before Jean leaves for Grasse, Baldini makes him promise to give him 100 perfume recipes in exchange for his freedom. Baldini is really happy and holds onto the notebook with the recipes. But then he dies when the building collapses. Jean travels to Grasse, excited by all the different smells he finds. He's so tired that he sleeps in a dark cave. When he wakes up, he realizes he doesn't have his own smell. He's confused because even worms have a smell. Having no smell makes him feel like he doesn't have a soul, but he's still alive. This is a big challenge for him. Without a smell, there won't be any proof that he existed. He decides to make the best perfume ever to show that he has value. So he heads to Grasse. When Jean arrives, he smells another amazing scent from a girl, just like the one in Paris. This girl, Riquez, is the daughter of a rich businessman and lives a fancy life. Grasse is all about smells, with flowers everywhere. Lavender is picked and sent to perfumers to get oil. Jean learns this and starts his plan to make the best perfume ever. One night, he catches a girl with a strong smell who's with her partner. He tries to refine her smell but fails. Next, he goes after another girl and kills her. He cuts off her hair, soaks her body in oil, and refines her smell successfully. Meanwhile, people in Grasse are scared because girls keep disappearing. Jean wants to make 12 bottles of perfume with different smells from girls, like Baldini told him. At Richie's fancy birthday party, she plays hide-and-seek with her sisters. Jean takes the sisters but leaves Riquez alone because he wants her to be the last scent. This time, he improves the process by soaking the girls in oil, wrapping them in cloth, and refining them. The oil has a stronger smell now. The scents start to have a magical effect on people's minds and moods. Even a foreman who was mad at Jean becomes nice when he smells the perfume. But Jean still needs more smells to fill all 12 bottles. He keeps killing pretty girls to get their smells, making Grasse a scary place. People think there's a scary guy hunting for girls' smells, so they make rules to keep everyone safe. But more girls keep getting killed. Finally, Jean fills up 12 bottles with 12 different smells, but he still needs one more. His last target is Riquez, who smells like hormones. One day, while people are at church, a guard rushes in and says they caught the murderer. Everyone feels relieved and goes outside, not knowing the guy caught is just a distraction. Richie's dad doesn't believe it, so he decides to leave Grasse with his daughter on a ship. The night before they leave, they stay at an inn by the road. Jean follows Richie's smell and sneaks into her room. He cuts off her hair and gets her smell. With the 13th bottle filled, Jean achieves his big goal and makes the most magical perfume ever. But then a dog belonging to one of the murdered girls finds where she's buried, and they find more bodies. Jean's terrible killings are exposed. He's caught, tortured, and sentenced to death. On the day of his execution, a huge angry crowd gathers. Jean is chained up, but he has his bottle of magic perfume. When he opens it, a beautiful smell fills the air and calms down the guards. He puts on a fancy suit and gets into a luxury carriage. When he arrives at the execution site, the angry crowd is mesmerized by his amazing smell. They stare at him with admiration and longing. When Jean steps up to the guillotine, the executioner removes his mask, kneels in front of him, and tells everyone he's innocent. Jean puts a drop of perfume on his handkerchief and waves it to the crowd. When they smell it, they're silent for a moment, mouths wide open. They reach out to Jean, calling him the hormone angel. Even Richie's dad, who is really angry, forgets about revenge. The perfume makes Jean seem innocent and beautiful, making people want love, turning the execution into a wild party. Because of this, the foreman is blamed for all the murders and executed. After that, Jean goes back to Paris. He has the powerful perfume that controls people's desires for love and hormones, giving him the power to do whatever he wants. But instead of using it for power, he goes back to the fish market where he was born. He pours the whole bottle of perfume over himself, and the nearby poor people, hungry for the fancy smell, rush to him and eventually devour him. That's how he disappears from the world. All that's left are his clothes and the empty bottle of perfume.